Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Armageddon. Today we're going to be featuring a Brawl deck with Drizzt Do'Urden as our commander, as part of our series of Brawl videos featuring commanders from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Drizzt wants you to play creatures with more power than him so that he picks up +1/+1 counters when those bigger creatures die. He also comes with 2 creatures for 1 spell, as when he enters, you create Guinevere, a legendary 4/1 cat creature token with trample. Guinevere trades off quite easily, enabling Drizzt's triggered ability. The way I've built a deck around Drizzt is a straightforward stompy ramp deck. As a result, it has mostly green spells and only a few white ones, since we want green ramp spells to play Drizzt early and big green creatures to pair with him. Let's look at the deck now, starting with our mana acceleration. We have Chrome Mox for explosive starts, as well as most of the ramp options at 1 mana. Avacyn's Pilgrim, Birds of Paradise, Delighted Halfling, Elvish Mystic, and Llanowar Elves. At 2 mana, Bramble Familiar has an adventure, Fetch Quest, that lets us mill 7 cards and put any one creature, enchantment, or land from among the cards milled this way directly onto the battlefield. The Familiar can also be returned to our hand to cast its adventure if we don't need it for ramp late in the game. Fanatic Avronis adds 4 mana if we control a big creature, and enables itself if we eternalize it out of the graveyard, while Farseek lets us put an extra land into play. Fountainport Charmer perpetually discounts our creature spells in hand and can double its effect with Offspring, while Fuel Tank Feaster perpetually discounts the most expensive creature in our hand at the start of our turn. Herd Heirloom adds mana for creature spells. It can also fit into our evasion and card draw categories, because it can be tapped to give a big creature trample and let us draw a card if that creature hits the opponent. Humble Naturalist adds mana to cast creature spells, while Elysian Caryatid can tap for 2 mana if we control a big creature. Leafkin Druid adds 2 mana if we control at least 4 creatures, while Sylvan Caryatid has hexproof, making it more likely to stay in play. Woe's Pathfinder has an activated ability to buff a creature and give it trample. We also have the new Selesnya Signet and Talisman of Unity from the latest Anthology expansion. At 4 mana, Nylea Keen-Eyed discounts our creature spells and has an activated ability to help us find more creatures, while Hulking Raptor adds 2 green mana at the start of our first main phase. Next we have our creatures and other cards that pick up +1/+1 counters under various circumstances. Pelt Collector, Crunch Wrangler, and Sharp-Eyed Rookie pick up counters when creatures bigger than them enter under our control, while Cririon Beastcaller picks up counters whenever any other creatures enter under our control. Actually, it's on cast. I stand corrected. Nessian Horbeetle picks up a +1/+1 counter at the beginning of combat if we control a big creature, while Ranger class makes a wolf token when it enters and can be leveled up to put a +1/+1 counter on an attacking creature, and eventually to let us cast creature spells from the top of our deck. Next we have our big stompy green creatures, most of which would trigger our commander when they die. The new Frenzied Baloth from Edge of Eternities wouldn't trigger our commander if it dies while he is in play, but it is worth including because it is an above-rate threat that prevents our creature spells from being countered and makes it so that damage can't be prevented. Keen-Eyed Curator acts as graveyard hate and can grow to be a 7/7 if we exile 4 different card types with it, while Lovestruck Beast is a 5/5 for only 3 mana that can only attack if we control a 1/1 creature. Fortunately, it enables itself with its adventure Heart's Desire, which creates a 1/1 human token. Pelucranos Reborn is a big creature with reach that can be transformed into Pelucranos, Engine of Ruin, which also has lifelink, and which spawns a pair of 3/3 Hydra tokens when it dies, while Ethrimic an acts as an anthem for our other creatures, although it can't attack or block if we control other creatures. Bramble Armor Brawler can't be countered, and while it is in play, perpetually buffs all creature cards in our library whenever the opponent casts a non-creature spell, while Evolved Spinoderm enters with 4 oil counters on it and has either Hexproof or Trample depending on how many oil counters it has. The downside is that we have to sacrifice it once it no longer has any oil counters on it. Ashaya Soul of the Wild has power and toughness equal to the number of lands we control, which includes all our non-token creatures, because while Ashaya is in play, all our non-token creatures are also forest lands, which means that they can also tap to add green mana. What is more, while Ashaya is in play, our creatures can't be targeted by spells or abilities that target non-land permanents, precisely because they are also lands. Railway Brawler can be plotted in order to be cast for free on a later turn, and while in play effectively doubles the power and toughness of our other creatures when they enter, while Gigantosaurus, while a vanilla creature, is massive for its cost. While Galta and Mavrin are in play, whenever we attack, we can create either a tapped and attacking dinosaur token with power and toughness equals the greatest power among other attacking creatures, or 1/1 life-linking vampire tokens equal to the number of other attacking creatures. While Galta, Primal Hunger, is a huge trampling threat that can easily be cast for just 2 mana in this deck. Next, we have ways of giving our creatures evasion, namely Trample. Shadow Spear is an equipment that gives the creature it is attached to lifelink and trample, and has an activated ability to remove hexproof and indestructible from opposing permanents, while Conclave Guildmage can be activated either to give our creatures trample until end of turn, or to make a 2/2 Elf Knight token with Vigilance. Garruk's Uprising gives our creatures trample, and also goes into the card advantage category, because while it is in play, we draw a card whenever a big creature enters under our control, while Suruk and Goreclaw give our other creatures trample, and, while they are in play, they put a +1/+1 counter on our other non-token creatures that enter, and give them haste until end of turn. Finally, Aggressive Mammoth is a huge trampling threat that gives our other creatures trample. Next is our interaction. We have Heroic Intervention to protect the team from board wipes, while Hunter's Talent lets one of our creatures deal damage equal to its power to an opposing creature when the talent enters, and it can be leveled up to buff an attacking creature and give it trample, and eventually to draw a card end of turn if we control a big creature. Jaheira Harper Emissary can be specialized to destroy an artifact or enchantment, while Scrap Shooter destroys an artifact or enchantment when it enters if we let the opponent draw a card. There are other creatures we could play that destroy artifacts or enchantments when they enter without that drawback, but I'm playing Scrap Shooter because it is a big creature to go with our commander. Agonosaur Rex can be cycled to put 2/1/1 counters on a creature and give it trample and indestructible until end of turn, while Silverback Elder can destroy artifacts or enchantments whenever we cast a creature spell, among other abilities. Kogla, the Titan Ape, fights an opposing creature when he enters, and can destroy artifacts or enchantments when he attacks. We also have a few humans in the deck to enable his ability to become indestructible, while Thorn Mammoth fights an opposing creature when it enters, and any time another creature we control enters, meaning it can potentially fight multiple times on the same turn. Our final category consists of our card advantage engines. Fauna Shaman is not strictly card advantage, since we have to discard a creature card to use its ability, but it does let us search up whatever creature we want, while Chittering Illuminator can be cast off the top of our library and lets us cast other creature spells off the top as well. Colossal Majesty draws an extra card during our upkeep if we control a big creature, while Geistpack Alpha seeks a non-land card with mana value equal to the number of lands we control when it dies. Guardian Project draws a card whenever a non-token creature enters under our control, while Battle Mammoth can be foretold to be cast at a discount and lets us draw a card whenever a creature we control is targeted by an opposing spell or ability. Elder Gargaroth draws a card whenever it attacks or blocks, among other modes, while finally, the Great Henge can be cast at a discount if we control a big creature, can ramp us and gain us life, and while it is in play, whenever a non-token creature enters under our control, we put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and draw a card. Our mana base has lots of dual lands, most of which come into play untapped, along with all of the fetch lands that search for forests and plains, including non-basic ones. Our utility lands include Eiganjo, Seat of the Empire, and Boseiju, Who Endures for additional interaction, Minas Tirith, and Bonder's Enclave for card draw, and Castle Garenbrig to ramp out our big green creatures. We also have Hashep Oasis, which can be sacrificed to buff a creature, Lair of the Hydra as a creature land, Memorial to Unity, which can be sacrificed to find a creature in the top 5 cards of our library and put it in hand, and the new Zanarkand Ancient Metropolis from Final Fantasy, which has an adventure, Lasting Faith, that makes a large hero token. Finally, we have Cavern of Souls to make our commander uncounterable, Plaza of Heroes, and Tyrite Sanctum to protect our commander, and Rogue's Passage for additional evasion. So that's our Drizzt deck. Now it's time to take it into the queue and play some games. On the draw, facing Golgari Squirrels, we've got a couple ramp cards, so we can play Drizzt on turn 3, assuming nothing happens to Mystic and the Feaster. Guardian Project, Dashath, I think this is keepable. 3 lands. Draw another land. Rogue's Passage could help us get a big creature past a bunch of squirrel tokens. And then we'll fetch opponent plays Thornvault Voyager for ramp. Forager, I mean. Could play Colossal Majesty. But I like getting Feaster down. Fetch Surveil land, and then play Drizzt next turn. Weatherlight completed. Okay, so opponent's going for the sacrifice angle, from the looks of it. We'll fetch Surveil land. I've got 2 lands in hand, so I think we'll bin that. Aggressive Mammoth, which I could also play here, but I think let's get Drizzt down. Opponent's got 5 mana.
Tremble, crumble, break.
Plays
No waking
Ashiok.
these nightmares.
I think I play aggressive Mammoth. And then do I play anything? Can I play anything else? I'll have 6 mana, so no, not quite. Opponent takes it all.
Sleep with one eye open.
And then I think I play one of Guardian Project or Colossal Majesty next turn so I can start drawing cards. Opponent plays Cosmos Elixir, and that's enough for opponent. Alright. And that's why it's important to have ramp in your opening hand when you're playing Drizzt. On we go. On the draw, lots of ramp. Most Pathfinder could be good to give a creature trample, but I think I exile it to imprint Chrome Mox. And then if I play Chrome Mox turn 1, I can play Talisman of Unity, and then turn 2 I can plot Railway Brawler. Drawing another land's kind of unfortunate. And then I'd like to get some card draw. Opponent plays Ayara. Ranger class could be good since I can level that up to play creatures off the top. And then I've got 2 basics so I can fetch Canopy Vista. Another turn 3 Drizzt. Another good something else. I could also use a way of giving Drizzt trample. They should have cast Eternal Thirst before destroying Guinevere. And that's enough for opponent. Alright. On we go. On the draw, only 2 lands. That could be risky. I do have some ramp. Scrap Shooter is a good above rate early blocker and might have some relevant artifacts or enchantments to destroy. Fauna Shaman could be good. Thor Mammoth is fine. So as long as we can hit our land drops, this hand's reasonable. And there's a land. We'll play tap land. Opponent's got a Johnny's Welcome. Scrap Shooter can blow that up. Because I've got some heavy green requirements, I think I'll fetch Temple Guard in here. And then opponents. Alright, Grand Abolisher is fine. We'll fetch Forest. I don't really have any instant speed plays, so Grand Abolisher is fine. Although it does mean I can't hold up my artifacts on opponent's turn. We'll get rid of their life gain enabler. And that's enough for opponent. Alright, they must not have had anything else in hand that gained life, so we'll take it. On we go. On the play, only 2 lands, but I've got plenty of ramp. Cavern of Souls. I guess that might come up if opponent's playing Mana Tide. Not sure what to exile to Chrome Mox. I kind of like both Chron Strangler and Geistpack Alpha, but I also want to keep Farseek to make sure I get lands in play. Anyway, I think this is keepable. And then we'll exile I guess Chron Strangler. And then I'll be able to play Geistpack Alpha next turn. United Curator. Could also play Curator Farseek. And that way I'm guaranteed to play Drizzt next turn. I kind of like that better. Alright, we have to fetch Tapland anyway, so we'll get Lush Portico. I'll take the land. Don't need it, but I want to hit my land drops anyway. And then Bonder's Enclave means I can draw cards off Drizzt. Rabo is an interesting card for a deck with Jada as commander. Alright, land. Not really what I want here, but let's draw with Bonder's Enclave. Draw land. And then opponent's got a decent block on the Curator, so we'll just attack with Drizzt and Guinevere here. Opponent trades for Guinevere. Puts a counter on Drizzt. Alright, Quartermaster, that's more what you expect out of a Giada deck. Alright, so Keen-Eyed Curator can't attack, but Drizzt can. Opponent takes it. So opponent does fall to 6, so if I can find a way of giving Trample, that could be pretty good. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I think I don't need Scrap Shooter, so I think we'll just draw with Bonder's Enclave end of turn. I could also sacrifice Memorial to Unity. It could also be good to get Scrap Shooter out, even if I don't have a target, just to have another attacker. It also has reach, although my life total is pretty high. I think we'll draw a card with Bonder's Enclave. Angel Vitality. In Brawl, of course, that is a base 4/4. If you haven't lost any life. The opponent is going pretty wide, so I could definitely use... They don't attack. That's a bit of a surprise. Let's fetch Temple Garden. And then I might fetch quest here. Alright. Shuriken Goreclaw. That gives my creatures trample. Alright, opponent isn't going to trade with Drizzt, because I can kill one of the blockers during first strike damage. In fact, I can kill them both during first strike damage. So opponent's still going to take 4. So opponent falls to 1. And we find Thorn Mammoth. And then I don't really need Bramble Familiar, so we'll exile cards with Keen-Eyed Curator. So I can try and get it up to exile 4 more card types with it. We've got Sorcery. I've got Creature and Land in the graveyard. So I don't think I'll be able to... I guess I should have played Bramble Familiar after all. So I won't be able to get to 4 types. If Bramble Familiar had milled an artifact along with the lands and creatures it milled, that would have been good. Opponent might have disconnected. I'm assuming the fact that they're timing out means they don't have an answer to Drizzt. Alright, I'll probably skip through the timing it, although we're getting close to finishing anyway. Hitting Surek and Goreclaw off Fetch Quest was great. It can be a bit risky because of all the mana creatures we have, and playing one of those for 7 mana seems kind of sad, but this worked out. And then Thorn Mammoth can clear a blocker. And I'm assuming opponent's just going to time out here, but they're very dead. Alright. So we've been lucking out in that we've had enough ramp most games to play Drizzt on 3, which is great. Usually, but we put enough ramp in the deck in any case so that we could reliably play Drizzt on 4. And there we go. On we go. On the draw, only 2 lands, no ramp, so this is a mulligan. Alright, still only 2 lands, but with the extra draw step, and I've got Caryatid, so I think we'll try this. Alright, we draw land. That was good. We'll fetch Forest. I could have considered playing Curator there, since I don't have anything to ramp into right now with Caryatid. Plays Athreos. We'll take 2. Land is good, that means we can play Drizzt next turn. Alright. And then we'll hold up Curator's ability. I'll pay 2 life for now. We'll play untapped land so I can play Drizzt. Could also consider playing Silverback Elder, but Drizzt puts more bodies. Yeah, I want Pellet Collector to trigger first, so that way Pellet Collector triggers twice. Opponent has Daxos, into Sprawling Crawler. I'll lose 2 life. Can play Shooting Illuminator off the top. I think I'd rather get Surik and Goreclaw down. I think I'll keep through. Since that lets me cast creature spells off the top. Opponent chumps Drizzt. Trades for Guinevere. opponent can have it back, I guess. I think I'll take 3 to keep them from getting Daxos back. Alright, Silex is too slow. And there we go. Alright, on we go. On the draw. I think this is keepable. We've got 3 lands, we've got ramp. 2-mana ramp especially is very important. Heroic Intervention could be handy. I think we've had Keen-Eyed Curator almost every game. Opponent leads with Gene Pollinator. We'll fetch Lush Portico. Opponent hits this for 1. So currently opponent doesn't have any black sources. And then I'll... got 3 lands in hand and ramp, so I'll put Forest in the graveyard. Strap Shooter. And we'll be able to play Hulking Raptor next turn. Opponent has Lotus Cobra. Plays land. I'm surprised they didn't tap Lotus Cobra so they could attack with a Pollinator. And then Hulking Raptor also enables Caryatid to add 2 mana. Opponent hits land 4. We've got 5 mana.
My
Being
heart
Arcbow
beats in
Ranger, so they
unison
could
with the
take
wild.
out Caryatid here, but Raptor, they can't target... Actually, I guess they can if they tap. They just put counters instead on their creatures.
Stomping time.
I'll take 3, no blocks. Let's get Drizzt down. Then we'll attack Vivian. Alright, opponent lets Vivian go.
I will not go extinct.
And then I think we'll hold up Heroic Intervention. Don't need Scrap Shooter for anything. Yeah, let's just hold up Heroic Intervention. Opponent plays Effluence Devourer. Let's fetch Basic Forest. And then I kind of like hold up Heroic Intervention, draw a card with Bonder's Enclave. I guess I should have tapped Bonder's Enclave because I could consider playing Keen-Eyed Curator. If I tapped Bonder's Enclave to cast Silverback Elder, I would have been able to exile 2 cards with the Curator. We'll attack with Drizzt and Guinevere. Opponent trades. I could protect Guinevere with Heroic Intervention, but I think I want to save it for removal, and I don't mind trading off Guinevere because that puts a counter on Drizzt. So let's go ahead and play Curator here. I've got 4 cards in hand, so I guess I don't need to draw. So yeah, I should have tapped Wanderer's Enclave to cast Silverback Elder. Then we'll find a land, hit Castle Garenbrig. And we'll hold up Heroic Inspiration, Keen-Eyed Curator. Opponent plays Nightmare Shepherd, and that's enough. Alright, let's take a look at the deck. Alright, so that was our Drizzt deck. As always, with most green decks, and Drizzt, at least the way I see it, you want to play heavy green, because that has the higher density of larger creatures that pair well with Drizzt's ability to pick up +1/+1 counters. So with all the ramp available in the green, it's easy to have an opening hand with ramp in it, and you want to make sure that you have an opening hand with ramp. And it's also not that hard, as we saw with several of our games, to have 2 pieces of ramp in our opening hand such that we can play Drizzt on turn 3, which is amazing. It's hard to lose if you can resolve Drizzt turn 3. Getting down 7/4 worth of stats is quite strong on turn 3, for sure. Anyway, we faced a variety of matchups, so Drizzt is a good commander if you want to face a variety of matchups, because he's not so powerful that he only faces certain other commanders. And you can't go wrong with ramp, big green creatures, card draw, and some interaction. That's a pretty good winning formula. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. Do please like and subscribe. If you'd like to see another Brawl commander, maybe one from Edge of Eternities, let me know in the comments, and have a good one. Bye.